Алло.
Простите, я не расслышал, что?
Мне скучно говорить.
Я сказал, мне скучно.
Да?
Не
Тебе скучно или нам скучно? Не знаю, мне всем скучно.
Конечно, ты ничего не говоришь.
Можешь начинать. Можешь начинать. Должен презентацию запустить. А у тебя есть компьютер?
А ты ноутбук, да? А без презентации? А слабо без презентации? А слабо без чата?
Не получилось, да?
Все ограничения, ты придумал себе сам. Нет никаких границ. Нет, да. Ну, не знаю, там это комната для допросов, там сидят полицейские, смотрят. Но, может быть, это переводчик, и к тому же никого нет, потому что они... Слушай, у тебя фамилия иностранная, может быть, там переводчик еще есть. Или на русский хотя бы.
Ура! Запустилось, давайте начинать.
So this is going to be a presentation about leadership in a lean way. Let me introduce myself. I'm Askat Uzurbayev of Scrum-Track. We help to implement Scrum and several other methodologies. Let's talk about leadership first. Usually I do not make presentations on such subjects. This is too big of a subject for me, too philosophical, just speaking about life. But this time I agreed to speak about it, and I will do my best. I will speak from standpoint of lean methodology. Have you heard about lean methodology? That's a lot of people who have heard about it. There's lots of books about lean. Now I am going to share my experience. If we look at different developers teams, we know that there are some great teams whose performance looks like this. It's not limited by anything. It goes upwards. They have good interaction. They have very good code. There are this kind of teams. At some point in time, they see a good launch, but then their productivity declines. And this is how their curve goes. So what is this level? What do you think this is? Where they stop and cannot develop further? Red tape? Is there anything else? Communication expenses? Well, they could go around it. What stops those developers' teams from moving on? They're lacking motivation, no incentives. Well, my observation is that people are developing, and this is good. So what is their goal by default? All teams who work on code development, what are they looking to do? They want to make a lot of money. Well, that's true. But they're getting paid. They want to be better than everyone else. They want to complete a project. I like that. What is happening while you are working on new code? You want to avoid pain. You want to avoid pain. See this boy who is trying to avoid being punished by his parents. That is clear. What other goals are there? To achieve goals. What is the motivation? Why people want to do it? What is your motivation? Time? What do you mean by that? Oh, bonuses. Okay. There are 2 areas, 3. Well, let's stay with 2. At the bottom, you see a bad situation, then you move upwards. Somebody is mad at you. Your management is mad at you, the market is not happy with you, and then you bring it to a level where you're pretty much okay, where it's sufficient, where you, let's say, you pass. This is a level in the middle, and then there is a level high above where everything is very, very good. There are quite a few teams who move to this okay level and then they do not develop any further. They see no incentive for further development because they're not going to be any better off if they improve their performance. At an early phase, they are bringing performance up and then they stop this process. There's a lot of teams like that. There are many people who develop to a certain point and then they lose motivation to go any further. And then they move up and down, oscillating around this median line. So what does it take a team to show a curve like this? You should work them in a stressful situation. Maybe, but then this blue line has to be quite high. Are there any other ideas? Here's 2 quotes. One has to do with a very high level of performance. I liked his phrase. He said, why did you set this goal? He said, because I'm a CEO and I think that this is doable. Makes very good sense. And it works. It's a good strategy. That's why I'm quoting it. I only want to show you the best stuff. This is an acceptable strategy for a leader. And there is another option. I wanted to ask you first if you know who this person is. Well, it's written there. It's Mikhail Baryshnikov. Read it. He's a dancer. I thought maybe somebody would recognize him as one of the characters as of Sex in the City series. Well, anyway, what is his motivation? He said, I'm not trying to dance better than anyone else. He says that he tries to dance better than himself. This is probably the best self-motivation. Why wouldn't we want to be better in the future than we are today? We can set this as a goal for a team. Whether or not they will be able to achieve this is a different question. There's this book, The Laws of Software Process. Here's a quote from there. Software product contains knowledge of the team. Therefore, development is a process of knowledge acquisition. So we are not building a product to make customers happy. Our main goal is to acquire knowledge. The most precious knowledge is the knowledge that no one else has. We develop our product in the situation of uncertainty. We don't know the market, we don't know our customers, we don't know anything. How can one develop in such circumstances if you don't know anything? Well, you should have a starting point, and where do you want to go from there? Learn something, then what? Do something, then what? Analyze it, and then do it again. Quite amazing. This is plan, do, check, act process. We do something, then we check it, then based on the results we act. We change something in the way we do our job. So this is what it looks like. This is like a wheel that goes uphill. It turns and moves uphill. So it's up to a leader to make this wheel turn. There are 3 big directions. 1, product, and it includes market, customers, and subject area. Our goal is to make the team move in the right direction. We also need to support proper quality in code, in audit tests, in architecture. You probably have seen this picture. I just couldn't help using it. You haven't seen it? This is one of the problems that we keep seeing. And it's very difficult to travel from the right-hand side part to the left-hand side part. Well, it's possible to move in both directions. What can we do to move in this direction? It is possible. It just takes time and takes some learning, but this isn't that you just do. This is how you also think. You should change your mindset. Let me give you this example that has been borrowed from a different area. This is a quarrel situation. Mom and dad are fighting, and the child doesn't want to listen to that. When I see a project manager who talks to these stakeholders, let's say we have a salesperson, a CEO, and a marketing person, and they're talking about something. So what they can get there is you can just wait until they're finished. You don't want to hear them fighting. When they're done, they will tell you their final decision. And very rarely does this final decision happen to be good. Why is that? Do you know? It's bad because they know better and they're not asking anyone for advice. Oftentimes they end up with a trade-off. Two good ideas, when brought together, may result in a bad idea. Maybe they just don't know. They may not take reality into account. They may think that the market needs this. They have this big idea, but it may not eventually work. So what can we try to do? If, as a project manager, you practice this plan, do, check, act methodology, then you would try to find additional information. Let's say you have a stakeholders meeting. You would join it and you would be prepared because you would have done 3 to 5 interviews with end users. And you want to bring the results to the stakeholders' attention. Do you think that's going to make their session more productive? From my experience, I would say yes. So the task of a leader is to implement this methodology. Let's see how it works. Let's see how this circle works. We don't want to end up with just several opinions coming from different stakeholders. Plan, do, check, act is a mindset. This is something that one can learn to do. In any area, a leader should try to identify something that one can learn and then act upon it instead of fighting in all directions. So we have a goal and we move forward. What else do we need? We need something that would drive us upwards. We need a challenge that would give us an incentive to move upwards. Let's try to do something better. There are problem areas and there are areas where we have opportunities. When you are in the bottom area, you look at things, you discuss things, you discuss your issues and challenges, and at some point in time, problems will disappear or they will become few. Then you will still have meetings, but you will have no issues to discuss, and that's where you stop. Can you move upwards still? And what would it take? Maybe you should start talking more about opportunities. Practically, what does it mean? You don't have to ask developers if they have problems. Everybody's going to say no. What are they going to tell you? They will say, let's try something. Let's say pair programming. In my experience, it doesn't come from any problems. Nobody is ever going to ask two different programmers to work together, unlike they are lacking computers to work on. But in this city, this is highly unlikely to happen. So this is something that you can offer to a team and see what the reaction will be. Also, it's important to remember that every team has a different rate of improvement. There would be a team where you would suggest trying pair programming and they will all be willing to accept it. Would that be great? Or no, you will say that you always do this, you always do pair programming. What would be less cool? Let's try to do one sprint. What else can we do? One pair of programmers. How did you know that? Let's ask Peter and Vasa to work in a pair. I said that we should select a task, but it should be important. If we give them an unimportant task, it's not going to get them anywhere. We know that with pair programming we can address real tasks, but we need to know whether this is helpful. So we have to try how it works with a really important task. After all, the risk is not great. If we fail somewhere, it will be just one iteration, not such a big deal. We can use anything for this practice. It can be test-driven development. It could be anything. We can do anything. We can use CoffeeScript if we want, or maybe we can read more about it. And at the bottom, when we are not changing anything, when we are not developing, you say that we do not have time for that. The rate of your improvement is a function of your willingness to try new things. The more new things you try, the more rapidly you improve your level. So where is the source of success? You're giving me just the positive things. Give me something negative. Maybe what's important is the manager's willingness to take risk. You may come to your friend and say, Andrei, let's ask everyone to start doing pair programming. That would be the positive thing, the most positive thing. Where is it going to take us? Then every team is going to have its own rate of work. But every team works in a certain environment, and there is a corridor within which you can move. You cannot move too fast. It's going to end up in a failure. If you work too slow and there will be no change, where's it going to take you? That probably is also bad. Why? This is what we call flow. This is a situation when you, let's say, play a computer game. You are interested in that game, you don't notice that time flies, and suddenly the game becomes too complicated and you fall out of the flow. You as a leader have to fully understand how high you can go. If you go above that level, the team will lose interest. If you go too slow, they will also lose interest, and you cannot stop. That's one thing that I see very often. People get bored and they stop moving, so you have to maintain a certain speed, a certain rate of movement. If you're too slow, that's a problem. If you move slowly, people are bored. If the rate is too high, then it will be too difficult. In this narrow band, team works very effectively. People enjoy what they do. They enjoy their job. They enjoy communicating with each other. They love the product which they make, and we have to try hard to stay within this band. Don't move too slow. Don't move too fast. I will advise you to get a book by Csikszentmihalyi. The title of the book is Flow. It's easy to remember. Csikszentmihalyi. It's easy to remember. Another challenge we frequently see is this. In a number of companies, things look good, and then they want to launch an improvement project, something big that has a high probability of failing.
Here is a typical situation. You have your legacy code, and your leaders understand that it's a good time to improve it. Hire auto testers in order to automate the part of the code that has already been stabilized while the team continues to write a new code. And the question is, should we run the entire rate? How much time will it be necessary for the leaders to understand that nothing will be improved? What should be done in this situation? What do you normally do in such situations? You hire a team of auto testers. They engage in testing. What do you do? Yes, but it changes fast. No microphone, sorry. You start to understand the plan, do, check, act approach. We start to understand how the code should be written to facilitate auto testing. We can fail early. This is the same as what I was discussing with my previous slides. Do you know this guy? Oh, you know everything. His name is on this chart. It is Henrik Kniberg. It's not his quotation. I think that it's his. It says changes should be cheap. Simple experiments are better than improvement projects. If you wanted to remember just one thing of it, I would like you to remember the following. We don't want any major projects, any improvement projects. Smaller changes are much better. Another important factor deterring projects, entropy. Why do we normally fail? Where does it come from? We are lazy. There are externalities involved. Why don't we adapt to those externalities? Well, someone is to blame always. We will discuss it. Decisions are not fulfilled, executed. We have to be able to apply a boot to prevent this ball from rolling down. Process improvement. What do I think I do? We have a problem. We gather a team in order to come up with a solution. And in the bottom, I'm showing what I'm actually doing. There is pain, how to avoid pain, how to improve a decision. We may say we have failed to get anything from a third party, from our customer, for example. Very often our decisions are emotional. If our customer fails, we normally want to spoil the customer's life as a way to avoid pain. Only after that we start making our decisions or solutions more rational. It's more seldom for team, however, it's quite typical of leaders. Normally the leaders shift blame to other people. If the customer is not happy, we cancel our demo. For instance, our customer comes and starts cursing, we say no demo. Only after that we engage in looking for a rational seed. Normally we do not even try to find a solution to the problem. Another example, we are short of time, we fail to make it on time, we extend our iteration. Do we resolve the problem in doing so? Of course not. Why do we extend the iteration? The problem, the reason, the counteraction. What are we trying to achieve? That's exactly what you have to learn to do as leaders. First of all, you have to find the cause of a problem, and only after that will you be in a position to engage in resolving it. I can give you an example. A guy comes, sets up a team, and says, look, my guys fail to fix production bugs. They just don't mention them. What should be done in order to improve the situation, to make them fix such bugs? Let this question go to you. Why? You have already started asking why. Why don't you, in the very beginning, come up with a motivation scheme providing for incentives and punishment or penalties? Why don't they fix them? There is a monitoring system that attributes all the production bugs to developers. Well, if it is a bug, they start fixing it. If not, they don't do anything. There are quite a lot of them, you're right. Maybe some 10% of them. In fact, between 3 and 5% are production bugs. The rest are monitoring system alerts when the system doesn't like anything. You can see wolves and wolves here. The system starts yelling, wolves, wolves, and all of a sudden you find out that nothing is wrong. We have to be able to identify problems properly, and we have to set up our monitoring systems in such a way as to only generate alerts if there is a true problem. Another approach, problem, cause, counteraction, there is an additional component that I call visualization. You all know what visualization is about. We can use stickers, we can use task boards like this one, or bulletin boards. This is our bulletin boards. We have bugs, backlog, technical debt, to-do items and progress, code review, and so forth. It is very useful. Why is it better than maintaining your daily task database? It tremendously modifies the behavior of the team. It will make your team to spend up to 15 minutes per day behind this board. People get more motivated, understanding problems better. Of all the tasks, one of the most important one is code review. How to conduct it. Is it a command? Enter code review string, and everything will be okay. However, if it fails to become part of the test, as long as there is no code review conducted, very many tasks are suspended by the code review. You have a column full of tasks, but nobody has done anything because of the faulty code review. What do you mean by this? Everybody waiting for everybody. Increasing responsibility. What do you mean? You're all so intelligent guys. You say, limit work in progress. How can you achieve that? I come to my team and say, limit your work in progress. Don't undertake more than 5 tasks at a time. Code review can be a small column with no more than 2 simultaneous tasks in the green zone. One goes to the yellow one, and so forth. And again, we have here work in progress visualization. All the same stuff. What you're speaking about is an act of sabotage. If you come to them and say, "Bad guys, you failed to do code review," and then I make up this column, it is one situation. If we do that together, it's an absolutely different situation. It is a separate subject. However, it is one of the ways to make sure that your team members can see problems on their own. Normally, programmers pay attention to marks on cards. I'm going to explain myself. We have programmers who fulfill one task in 8 hours. They, well, for example, they can spend 2 hours on a task while spending the other 6 hours on something else. Otherwise, they can be short of time, failing to make it on time, and after a week of such work, everything goes down. What should be done in such situation? What do you mean? You don't let people think about it. If you put a mark on the backside of the sticker of the card, it does not mean that your team members will not be able to look at them, at those marks. Well, instead of just solving problems, we visualize them. Another example. This is something what happens quite often. We have finished everything. Is there anything else? We could fix bugs or deploy the code. How can the situation be improved? Definition has been completed. Well, I took this picture for my son. He's a school pupil, 3rd grade. But it worked out. It did. It is a typical situation. It's the same like this. Have you finished doing your homework? Yes. Anything left? He doesn't know anything about it. Whether it's stuff such as a reader's diary, what is it about? He is expected to fill out this reader's diary. I want to include it in my checklist. As you can see, it's not my checklist. We sat down at a table, spoke to each other, discussed the problem, and he came up with a solution. It's worked out. Now I don't have to explain to him what still needs to be done. It would be great if he would come and read such checklists on his own, but I have to force him. And he spends around 20 minutes on doing additional work to his homework. Well, maybe children need more time than adults. Oh, your child is in the 6th grade and he's okay. Well, okay, I'll wait for 3 years. You're laughing. You remember Dennis Miller? Well, he discussed the introduction of Scrum in his family. He has a fridge with a bulletin board, magnets. His family members gather at dinner to discuss what they did yesterday, what they have been doing today, what they will be doing tomorrow. The mother sends tasks. The father is a Scrum Master, and they do it, and they have fun of it, and it works, and you can love about it. Why? Because it ensures visualization, transparency, visibility, workflows, and so forth. They are school children, primary school children. And it's not enough just to have them. You should have stickers for other people to be able to see them. As a result, visualization, workflows, and checklists help. What else do I have on my presentation? Future offices. I like this picture very much. It resembles me very much of what's happening now. Our offices are becoming different, more vivid. It's not enough for us to be engaged in coding. Some 10 years ago, people would come to work to work. People would come for work, not for fun. Today, things are changing, and you will have to take it into account. It does not mean that I agree with it, but we'll have to learn how to live with it. There is a book called The Art of Game Design. If you look at 10 properties of good games, I'm not going to read them. Well, the point is that everything that we have been discussing so far fully applies to games. Therefore, the objective of such a leader is to make sure that the task is interesting to team members. Let your team members have fun, invest in your teams, and your team will be able to resolve your problems. Don't resolve your problems on your own. A game is a problem-solving activity. It has its own values. You can come to a person and say, look, Michael, do you want to earn 20 points for experience? He would say, no. If it were a game, in games, values become important. Every team invents their own values. Team members always want improvement. We ask ourselves, what motivates people to improve? What motivates you to play games, to make it to the next level? Why is it so important? Okay, it's not a good example. Take your favorite game. What is important in it? You want to become better than before. You want to improve. This fully applies to teamwork. Internal values of your team do matter. I have forgotten what this picture is about. Oh, okay. This is my last important point. You should take such things seriously. Let's forget about laughing. If you engage in process improvement, if you engage in team development, take it for work. It's not only about delivery. Your ability to deliver, your project management, it is something that you devote yourself to make your teams more efficient. Only in this case you will be able to read books, only in this case you will be able to have fun, so develop yourselves and your team members so as to become people knowing how to have fun. Otherwise you can go down to become a loser. You may become quite mediocre, but you will never ever be able to have real fun. Otherwise, you will never become a mega expert, a mega leader with the best in the world team. And this is my final checklist. It is work. You must have an objective. You have to face challenge every day, every week. Experiment in small iterations, or PDCAs, should be so as to give us data to drive decisions. There should be workflows, checklists, and so forth. Do you have any questions? I have 6 minutes for questions. Well, the next chart will be more interesting. It has my contact details. Normally, at such workshops, there are very few questions. Topics that I discussed are quite generic. However, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them. I see two questions. Where I can get your presentation and what tools would you recommend? The presentation will be posted on the website. I'm sure the organizers will ensure it. What is the role of a manager in Scrum? Any more questions? Yes? Why isn't it possible that I have fun from my processes, from my work, if I work in nuclear industry? Any boring task, such as inspection of 10 megabytes of the code per day, even in doing this work, you can have fun. Just a review is boring. However, if I split my entire task in portions, what determines the quality of the code? The number of WTFs per minute. What? Every time I do anything wrong. Oh, okay. You have started speaking about voodoo dolls. If I had a voodoo doll with 10 fingers, for me to be able to cut one finger off a minute, it is a crazy idea. However, based on this very crazy idea, I can come up with smaller and less crazy ideas that will yield me specific results. For instance, we are expected to comment on somebody's code. Why don't we have fun of it? Let's think, let's consider how this could improve the quality of our work. What we need to achieve is make sure that our team members are interested in doing their work. I am happy that it has been mentioned. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.